before you can reload. Recoil pistols, shit, I must have missed them. Circle back and blast them. The body no reaction. I'm fit with this passion. On the mic, I harass them. About to surpass them. Let's hear the reaction. Masterful, articulate, vision sent, the vision sent. New rapper with a new sound.
What's up, everybody? This is Red Right, and we're going to go over a few different things today. We're going to do my update on the Electoral College Map, because we do have an update with the Electoral College Map, and we're going to go over why the polls are wrong. Once again, I'm going to show you evidence why the polls are wrong and why the polls are more than wrong, but fake polls. So first of all, let's go over a few different things that I've found, you guys. So I've been doing a lot of research, and these are some things that I've came across. So this is on fitsnews.com. Decision 2020. Are the fake polls back? So as we get closer to November 3rd, 2020, pollsters are working overtime to assess the mood of the American electorate. Except, is that really what they are doing? A more sinister interpretation is that these surveyors are working overtime to try and shape voters' moods. Their goal? To present the race between Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden and the Republican incumbent Donald Trump as a foregone conclusion. A contest in which the outcome is no longer in doubt. Basically, what they're trying to do is make you have so much doubt as a Trump supporter that you don't go out and vote. Biden already has it in the bag. What's the use? They want, and I'm going to show you something in a second, another article, like a light bulb clicked when I read what this other article said. I was like, wow, that's the best explanation for the polls ever. And we're going to get to it in a second. But here's this on Fitz News. Let's keep it going. I mean, they're everywhere. Fake poll alert. Proof Biden is not winning. Back in 2016, I played Paul Revere, except for my announcement was Trump victory is coming. The Trump victory is coming. I made over 1,500 TV and radio appearances to deliver the message that the polls were all wrong. I told Donald Trump supporters again and again to ignore the fake news and the fake polls. Tens of thousands of Trump voters emailed me to thank me for giving them hope when all seemed lost. Hundreds of conservative radio and TV hosts thanked me for keeping up the spirits of the Trump army when Trump voters were at their darkest and lowest points. For better or worse, that's my best talent in life. Seeing through the faulty math, lies, fraud, and propaganda of pollsters and the mainstream media in order to keep Trump voters excited, motivated, focused, and in the game. I was right back in 2016, and I will be right again on November 3rd. Despite all the faulty polls showing a double-digit loss, I believe President Trump is on his way to a landslide electoral victory, slightly bigger than the one in 2016, and I can prove it. First, this election looks like a carbon copy of 2016. Every poll back then showed Trump headed for disaster, but I had a secret weapon. I called it the taxi poll. My buddy drove a taxi in Las Vegas. Every person who got in her taxi was told, "I'm doing a poll. It's 100% confidential. I don't even know your name. So tell me, who are you voting for?" The results were overwhelmingly for Trump. I knew then what was about to happen. Today, I have what I call the truckers poll, but it's not just my trucker fans. It's my fans who drive cross country in their RVs. All of them report the same phenomenon. In middle America, there are thousands and thousands of Trump lawn signs. But where are the Biden signs? There are almost none to be found. Folks, understand this. What polls say don't matter. What people say to pollsters doesn't matter. What matters is only the votes of the people in a few key battleground states, in particularly Florida, and the Midwestern states of Ohio, Michigan, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. My fans tell me these states are 100% Trump country, okay? Now we're going to keep it going. Just keep up with me, you guys. Here's another one. Publicopiniononline.com. Polls showing Biden beating Trump do not add up. Don't add up. So when fake news does not work, the media turns to fake polls. Just as in 2016 with Hillary Clinton, most of the media polls are giving Joe Biden a double-digit lead on President Donald Trump. Last week, a Wall Street Journal NBC News survey gave Biden a 14-point lead over the president. Sounds bad, but remember that this very same poll gave Hillary Clinton the same big lead over Donald Trump exactly 4 years ago. And we all know what happened on Election Day. There are other polls that show the race as being tight, such as the John Zogby Strategies EMI Research Solutions poll. Biden only +2, and the Sunday Express Democracy Institute survey has Trump +1. And this is the national poll, guys, by the way. So what is the difference? Oversampled Democrats from 6 to 10 points. For one thing, if you still sample registered versus likely voters. Of course, some do not release the internals or polling methodology. It almost seems like the same media outlets who produce fake news stories about President Trump are now producing fake polls that show him losing, just like in 2016. Deja vu all over again. Now we got more, you guys. The propaganda media's polling offensive. If you have noticed all the recent polls showing former Vice President Joe Biden winning the 2020 election, you should know two things. First, the election is not this month, although it is next month. Second, this is a standard propaganda media polling offensive. Pay close attention. This is very important. This guy who wrote this, Newt Gingrich, this guy right here, Newt Gingrich wrote this. I have long experienced the left's efforts to depress, disorient, and defeat Republican campaigns. Part of its goal is to simply lower the energy level, diminish campaign contributions, and get the campaigns to fight internally over what is wrong, even when there is nothing to be concerned about. Okay, did you just hear that? The polls specifically showing the fanboy Biden numbers like we speak of are doing that for a good reason. It's not, they get something out of it. Did you just hear what I said? Part of the goal is to simply lower the energy level and diminish campaign contributions. That means when people see Biden having a 14-point lead, usually the people who are donating large sums of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars to a campaign, if you're on Trump's side and you usually donate hundreds of thousands of dollars, now you see a 14-point Biden lead, are you going to be as apt to donate hundreds of thousands of dollars knowing that your candidate is looking like he's going to lose? No, you're not. This is to literally make it so that Trump doesn't have money to run campaign ads. He doesn't have money to campaign in general, okay? That's what the whole polling thing is about. The light bulb went off for me, okay? I mean, it's so simple and so easy, you guys, but this is so true. Think about it. Part of its goal is to simply lower the energy level, which it has already, diminish the campaign contributions. Think about that if you're an investor. Once again, you're seeing, Joe Biden up 14 points. Why are you going to donate and put money into someone who's not going to win? Why do you think, obviously the Democrats always have more money, but people are heavily donating into Joe Biden. They think he's going to win. Therefore, when he does win, quote unquote, to these people, he's not going to win, but let's just act as if we're those people. Therefore, for when he wins, he can do me a favor now because he's president, because I donated hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to his campaign. Do you get how that works, you guys? Light bulb went off. One of my earliest experiences with the propaganda media approach was 1978, Minnesota U.S. Senate race between incumbent Democratic former Labor Senator Wendell Anderson and Republican challenger Rudy Boschwitz. On the day before the election, the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, a notoriously left-wing paper, reported on page one that Anderson was going to win with a poll that showed him beating Boschwitz by a small margin. The Boschwitz campaign had internal polling for several weeks that showed the campaign ahead by double digits. The following day, Boschwitz beat Anderson 57-40. The left-wing propaganda had failed. We have to make sure the left-wing propaganda that's going on in the polls fail. Very simple. That is what's going on. Another one from the Washington Times. Joe Biden buoyed by fake polls. False reporting. All right? Make way for Biden 2020 bumper stickers. Vote for me. I'm not Hillary. Let's remember, that's after Hillary ran an equally subpar campaign for the White House in 2016 that went like this. Vote for me. I'm not Donald Trump. It all sounds too familiar, you guys. There's nothing different about him and Hillary. How is he gonna blow Trump out of the water? He is not. And we're going to go over some polling data right before the Electoral College Map. And I'm going to show you there are finally the polls that are going to back up my Electoral College Map. They're coming out more and more. And they're coming out more and more every day, showing Trump up in key battleground states. The Washington Examiner. Fake polls destroy media credibility. The purveyors of the fake news at CNN are convinced, just as they were 4 years ago, that they have this presidential election in the bag. Donald Trump is done and Joe Biden is headed for a landslide just like Hillary Clinton was. Sound familiar, right? At this point, they have zero credibility left. As before, CNN's confidence is severely misplaced, and we're going to prove it. The best evidence they can present are polls that suffer from exactly the same flaws as the ones that indicated a landslide victory for Clinton in 2016. To the delight of liberals everywhere, the Atlanta hub of fake news recently put out a poll showing Biden with a 14-point lead, like we were talking about earlier, with 55% of the vote to Trump's 41%, a larger share than any presidential candidate has received in an actual election since Ronald Reagan garnered 58.8 in his 1984 shellacking of Walter Mondale. Yeah, right. You guys think people are just as enthusiastic about Biden against Trump as they were with Ronald Reagan. Wow.
involved here. Hey, look at this! Donald Trump! Taking down Mr. Mayor! Oh my God! The hostile takeover of Donald Trump!
You are a moron if you are not seeing the clear lies, the clear fakeness, the clear... They're literally pulling one on you guys. If you guys truly believe what the mainstream media is pushing on you right now. Twitter suspends... check this out, you guys. Trump has had historic numbers this election cycle with black and Hispanic voters. All minorities are flocking to Trump, you guys. So check this out. This is what big tech and the mainstream media does. Twitter suspends accounts claiming to be black Trump supporters. Isn't this bullshit? Look at this. Twitter has suspended a number of fake accounts purporting to be owned by black Trump supporters of the US President Donald Trump. The social media giant said that accounts broke its rule on spam, quote unquote, and platform manipulation, quote unquote. Many of the accounts used identical language, including the phrase, "Yes, I'm black and I'm voting for Trump." So people can't say that, "Yes, I'm black and I'm voting for Trump." If you were black and you were voting for Trump, wouldn't that be like something normal you would say is, "Yes, I'm black and I'm voting for Trump"? And because they said, "Yes, I'm black and I'm voting for Trump," and many people did, their accounts got deleted from Twitter. I wonder if it said, if, it was the other way around, "I'm black and I'm voting for Joe Biden," if those accounts would get deleted or flagged. I don't fucking think so. It says right here, Michigan won't turn blue easily. Okay, and I'm going to show you some data from Anthropology News, Rust Belt Revolt, and the failure of big data. Now, let me read this to you. Throughout the 2016 presidential campaign season, most people in America, including nearly all political analysts, statisticians, and other experts, were confident that Hillary Clinton would be our next president. The filmmaker Michael Moore was famously one of the only public figures who pushed against the consensus. On Real Time with Bill Maher, Moore insisted that Donald Trump would win the presidency. Moore later explained the rationale for his prediction. Trump spoke to the Rust Belt voters' experiences of deindustrialization, globalization, and the free trade policies like NAFTA that have screwed them over, by the way. Over the past 4 decades, these processes gutted America's once booming blue-collar, middle class, destroyed people's livelihoods, communities, and a sense of social worth, and gave them little in return but despair and futile rage. By promising to tear down the political establishment that had abandoned them to this fate, Trump branded himself not so much as the people's representative, but as their weapon for many Rust Belt voters, okay? And it didn't matter if you didn't like or agree with Trump, you would still vote for him because he is your personal Molotov cocktail to throw right into the center of the bastards who did this to you. And you guys really think the Rust Belt voters are going to put back into office who they were so sick and tired of 8 years, the Obama-Biden administration? You think they're going to now vote for the same thing that they had for 8 years, and they were so sick and tired of it that they elected Donald J. Trump, online, on TV, celebrity guy, the apprentice guy. They elected Donald Trump because they were so sick of the 8 years Obama-Biden administration. And now you think the Rust Belt voters are just going to forget the 8 years that they suffered through the Obama-Biden administration and now switch up from Trump to Biden? You are out of your damn mind if you think that, you guys. Really think about it. And by the way, the Latino and Black, Asian for Trump supporters, I mean, it's exploding. And now you got the mainstream media trying to say that, well, and 538 even came out with an article saying that, yeah, Latino and Black support is booming for Donald Trump, but the white supporters' vote is falling off, right? They always have to give you something negative with a positive to crush your spirits, right? They give you a little good and then they crush you with a big bad, right? Oh, but 50% of white voters have stopped voting for Trump. That is bullshit, you guys. I am a new white Trump voter. I did not vote for him in 2016, and now I'm voting for him in 2020, and I'm not one in a billion, I can tell you that much. So there's more white people voting for Trump, there's more Black people, there's more Asians, there's more Latinos. Every race, creed, identity, it doesn't matter, they are voting for Trump. And don't let anyone tell you different. Latino support for Trump grows to John McCain levels. This is huge, guys. That is huge. Trump gaining Black and Hispanic voters. Spread the love. Check this out. when I saw 538, remember I was just saying 538, Trump is losing ground with white voters, but gaining among black and Hispanic Americans. You see that? They tell you a truth, and then they tell you a lie. The truth is he's gaining with black and Hispanics. The lie is he's not losing his white voters, you guys. That's total bullshit. He now has a record, and people who didn't vote for him in 2016 now see his conservative record and policies, and now they are coming out to vote for him. So the whole idea that he's losing white voters is a damn lie completely. Look at Trump is polling historically well among black voters. Once again, I mean, they're everywhere, you guys. They're everywhere. All right, now let's go over to our Electoral College map. We have the undisputed champion of the world, Donald Trump, versus Sleepy, the creepy, the dementia-having Joe Kamala Barris. You understand that? Joe Kamala Barris. Because honestly, Joe will be fading out very soon after he gets elected if he did. And it would become a Kamala Harris administration, as she's already said on many different accounts. The undisputed champion, king of the world, Donald Trump, the savior, against the sleepy, the creepy, the perverted dementia, Joe Kamala Barris. Now let's get on into it. We're going to go from the East Coast to the West Coast. Let's do this rather quickly. An updated prediction of the Electoral College Map by Red Right. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and hit the notification bell. You guys do not forget it. Take your time. I'll wait for you for 2 seconds right now. Hit the subscribe, hit notifications so you get updated notifications every time I post a video, okay? Otherwise, you're not going to see it because they don't like to share conservative views on YouTube. This is the big tech we are faced against. So share the video also if you can, you guys, and tell me in the comment section what you think as well. Oops, I accidentally did that. Okay, so let's start it on off. We have the sleepy, creepy dementia, and we're going to give him a likely for Maine at large, and then we're going to give him the coast of Maine, which is D1 solid, which is the coast right here. And then we have Donald J. Trump is a solid for District 2. All right. Now we're going to get onto this really quick. New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, DC, all solid. New York, solid. For who? For Sleepy Joe. All right. Now, I forgot to go into the polling. So let's really quickly, I forgot to show you guys the polling. So let's really quickly, let's go to the latest polls. And you are going to be happy if you're a Trump supporter. Check this out, guys. Insider advantage. I told you this was coming. I told you in my last video this was coming. Pennsylvania, Trump versus Biden. Insider advantage poll has Trump up 2 points. I told you this was coming. Texas, he's up 4 or 5. I do think he's up like 5 or 6 in Texas. Now watch, you'll see the biased polls as well. The fanboy Biden polls. But we're going to focus on the people who actually got it right in 2016, guys. Rasmussen, general election shows that Trump is actually up in the general election +1. All right. We're going to focus on non-fanboy Biden polls showing the truth. Okay. Rasmussen reports presidential Trump job approval. He's at a 52 approval with a 46 disapprove. He's doing incredibly well. His numbers are going up, up, and up, you guys. Up, up, and up. Trafalgar Group, North Carolina. Trump is +3. Okay. Now we have obviously South Dakota, Trump +11. We have Florida. Rasmussen has Trump up 4. We have Arizona, the Susquehanna, Trump +1. Now we have Georgia, Trump +4 by WSB TV Landmark. Montana, Utah, West Virginia, obviously, right? Now Rasmussen has North Carolina as a tie, so it's close in North Carolina, supposedly. We have Arizona, though. We have the Susquehanna poll. McSally up 3. This is good for Trump in Arizona. All right, if we keep scrolling down, North Carolina, Rasmussen has him at a +1 in North Carolina. We keep scrolling down. We can see, you guys, the polls are tightening. Once again, a tie in Wisconsin. A tie in Wisconsin. The Iowa poll, Trump up 2. Quinnipiac, this is the most stupidest pollster ever, and they have like a I'm pretty sure, A+ pollster. Quinnipiac has a tie in Texas, Trump versus Biden. How stupid is that, you guys? This is what I'm talking about. This is what they're trying to do. Ruin your spirits. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Trump is up 5 or 6, maybe 7 in Texas right now. We have Fox News actually finally came out with a correct poll. Ohio, Trump versus Biden. He's up 3. He's actually up 4, I believe, in Ohio. Okay? I mean, we could just keep going down. We have Emerson, Trump +1. Even New York Times, Siena gives Georgia a tie with, I mean, you guys, it's crazy. It's crazy. The fanboy polls are just insane. Okay? Insane. Let's keep scrolling down. Trafalgar. Okay? Let's see what the Trafalgar has. Michigan, Trump +1. All right? Now even the fanboy polls are starting to give ties to Trump versus Biden in key battleground states. Okay? South Carolina, he's up 8. We keep scrolling down. We have Trafalgar Group in Florida. He's up 2. Okay? This whole month, you guys, Trump has been skyrocketing in the polls. Trump has been skyrocketing. So now that you've seen the polls, let's head on back really quick and keep filling out this map so you know why I fill out this map this way. And by the way, I forgot to go over it. For our Republicans, we have the undisputed champion of the world, Donald J. Trump. And how we rate this map is we do a solid, a likely, a lean, and a tilt. There are the colors, and that's how we work it out. From solid to likely, lean, and tilt. So from highest probability down to lowest probability that they will win, but it's in their column, right? Now, same thing for the sleepy, creepy dementia, Joe Kamala Barris. We have the solid, likely, a lean, and a tilt. From highest probability down to the lowest, all right? Barely in their category, right? Flip-flopping is the tilts, all right? Just wanted to go over that really quickly before we kept going because I forgot to do that first. But now, Joe Biden supporters will get mad, but we have a tilt in Pennsylvania. This is a tilt for Donald J. Trump, okay? A tilt for Donald J. Trump. And I'm going to change this a little back. There we go. We have a tilt for Donald J. Trump in Pennsylvania, okay? I told you it was coming, you guys. Now we have Sleepy Creepy. He's solid in Virginia, and we're just going to stop messing around with the lean tilts. Really, we're just really going to get into this. We have a likely for North Carolina for Trump. South Carolina is good. Georgia is a likely. Florida is a likely. We have now Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. Oops, Texas is a likely, but I'm going to put it a solid because it's a solid. But Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa is a likely for Trump. And then Joe Biden supporters will get mad, but this is only a lean. Minnesota is a lean. I think the Minnesota race, Trump versus Biden, is super close, and Democrats aren't going to know what hit them. Now, a Trafalgar has Trump up in Michigan, and either a tie or within the margin of error in Wisconsin. But I believe it's going to more look like this, so I'm going to give a slight tilt in Wisconsin to Trump, and then I'm going to give a slight tilt in Michigan to Biden, okay? Illinois, solid for Biden. And then you have Indiana, solid. Ohio is, I'm going to put that now solid for Trump, okay? Kentucky, Tennessee, and then we have West Virginia solid. All right, so what are we at? We're at 236 already to 150, all right? The King, 236. The Liars, 150, all righty? We have now Oklahoma. We have Kansas. Nebraska as a whole is going for Trump, but I have been doing this for District D2, giving a lean or a tilt to Sleepy Joe Biden. Okay, we have 253 to 151 now. Okay, moving on. North Dakota, South Dakota. All right, now we have Montana, Wyoming, going back to the creepy sleepy, Colorado, New Mexico, California, Oregon, Washington, all solid for the sleepy, the creepy, Joe Biden. Now, if we go like this, Hawaii, solid for the sleepy, creepy, Joe Biden. But Hawaii is solid for Donald J. Trump. Now we have Arizona is a likely for, and you know what, I'm going to give it a lean to Donald J. Trump, all right? Now, we only have a tilt for Nevada, okay? Just a tilt in Nevada. It's looking tied, and there's some polls that came out that had Donald Trump and Sleepy Joe tied in Nevada, okay? Now we have Utah, and then we have, last but not least, Idaho, solid. So we have a 289 victory, Donald Trump, to 249. If the Electoral College Map plays out this way right here, you guys. But I'm going to show you the alternates, and these are the different scenarios that are going to happen on Election Day, okay? And the couple days after, all right, with the mailing shady ballots. Oh, and by the way, Joe Biden had just accidentally slipped up in an interview and said that he has created the most extensive ballot fraud system with his campaign. What the hell does that mean? He's created the most extensive, biggest voter fraud system. What the hell does that mean? Is he saying that he's frauding the system with voter fraud? You guys got to look up that clip, and it'll come up on YouTube. It's insane, you guys. But anyways, back to our map. Option 1, here is my bias. Here is what I'm thinking. Here is option 1. All right. Now, Trump could always carry Nebraska as a whole. Okay. This would be, I'm going to go from the most likely to the least likely. Okay. So now we have option 2 is this one right here. Just I changed Nebraska to going for Trump at large. So now we have 290 to 248. Okay. Now we have a tilt in Michigan. And then we have the sleepy creepy, a tilt in Wisconsin. Okay. Something like this. That would be a 296 to 242. Alrighty. And let's say he pulls off Arizona, which he won't. But let's say he does. We could have something like this happen where Sleepy Creepy pulls off all these right here. And we have a 253 to 285. Okay. Here's option 3. But I'm going to show you something as well. Let's say Sleepy Creepy pulls off Michigan as well. Then you have a 269 to 269 tie, and you do not want that, you guys. You do not want that because then they're going to contest some state, okay? And it's going to be a whole shit show, all right? So I don't think this is the probability, though. of what's going to happen, but I'm going to just show you the options, okay? We can have this happen, right? So 275 to 263 if Biden wins Pennsylvania, but Trump sticks and stays with Wisconsin and Michigan in his belt. Now, we could always have something crazy like this happen as well. Nevada go for Trump by maybe 1,000 votes. Arizona go for Biden, maybe 1,000 votes. And we have a 281 to 257, or we could have something like this at 271 to 267. But here are the states that are really going to be the toss-up, all right? I believe Arizona is the least likely to be a toss-up. I believe it's going to go to Trump. But here are the real toss-up states, okay? Okay, here are the states you need to watch on Election Day. And these are all you need. Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida, all right? I believe that Iowa will go to Trump by around 2.5, 3 points when it's all said and done. So I'm really not worried about Iowa. Once again, Nevada, toss-up, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida. Those are the states you're going to be focused on, okay? So if we're waiting for those states, right, we have a 226 to 216, all right? So it could fill out any which way. But like I said, my best bet is going to be something like this, okay? I do think that Sleepy Joe will get either Michigan or Wisconsin. Okay, it's a toss-up which one he will get. All right, I'd rather him get Wisconsin, obviously, right? So we have something like this. This is a pretty solid prediction of what could happen, you guys. Sleepy Creepy could even take both of those and still lose the election if we win Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania voters need to get out and vote. You guys, get out and vote. But I just wanted to give you some different little options of how this could happen, how this could change up, switch up. I've showed you the different states that you really need to be watching, which are these bad boys. I'll even throw in Arizona, you guys, because this is really what you're paying attention to on Election Day, right? These are the states, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those states. This is what it comes down to, you guys. These 7 states are what it's going to come down to, I believe. All right? So get out and vote, you guys. If there's early voting, go out and vote for Donald J. Trump. Let's reelect him 4 more years. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment if you can. This is Red Right, and I'll see you in the next video update. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Say no to sleepy, creepy dementia, Joe Kamala Barris. Peace.
Solo, this my shit, I don't need none, I ain't got a clip. Yo, bitches on my dick, and when they see me, yeah, bitches. Money is my mission. Trade all day with the commission. Black only, no crack rocks. Yeah, that white boy be on his Tupac. That first rap, now you listening now. I'm 26, yeah, I've been down. All day I make money, so pussy bitches be plotting on me. But I'm right here, I'm in the same spot. Same chick, but got a new block. I got big dreams, I'm a big shot. Pockets big with a big watch, I got new money. Buy a new whip. Tesla on some cool shit. No drug dealing on some cool shit. Whipping fools like Cool Whip. Verse 1 is done now. I'm Nostradamus with the future sound. Track me, I'm an athlete. No one ever trying to test me. I'm sick of people talking loud. Big mouth with a big crowd. That scope sight adjustment. Cause I'm God rolling down punishment. High on that substance. Making y'all reluctant. I'm not one to fuck with, so don't make assumptions.